there! Welcome to Season 4 of Andaaz. For those of you that know us, welcome back. For those of you that don't know us, Andaaz is an inspirational talk show brought to you from the United States. And we scour the entire country, talking to innovators that have changed the world 1 billion people at a time, amazing artists, entrepreneurs, musicians, and more. Here at Andaaz, we believe that if you nourish your mind, your body, and your soul, you'll be fit and ready to take on the world. So in today's episode, we get into the area of the soul. I know for me personally, being an entrepreneur, I have those very difficult days. There are some days when a deal falls apart or something doesn't go right. I just don't know where to turn or who to talk to. That's when I go inside and listen to my intuition. Sometimes while viewing life, your perception of what you're viewing may not be the same as someone else's. We all view life through our own vantage point, our own experiences, and our own history. This is why there can be conflict when two people are viewing the exact same situation. With a better understanding on this, perhaps we can take a look at the other person's perspective. Well, we had the honor of talking with Dr. Deepak Chopra about perception, life, and his new book, God. Let's go check it out. Hi, I'm here today in conversation with Dr. Deepak Chopra about his new book, God. And I'm just fascinated by this book and the subject and want to understand more about your inspiration behind this book. Can you just tell our viewers a little brief on that?
Well, the book idea came to me after I read in the New York Times from 1930 a little conversation that took place between the Indian poet and mystic Rabindranath Tagore and Einstein. Basically, the gist of the conversation was that Einstein in the world of science was known as a realist, which means that what you see is what is. Okay? So here, what you see, this is reality.
Right.
Whereas Tagore took the position that physical reality is really a perceptual experience that is a human experience for human beings.
So what was your greatest breakthrough while writing this book? I'm sure you uncovered a lot about yourself as well.
Well, breakthroughs, don't happen suddenly. It's like a fruit that's taking a long time to ripen. One day it falls. If a sparrow was looking at the world, it wouldn't see the same world you and I do, or a dog, or a dolphin, or a chameleon, or an owl. So the thought occurred to me, if there are so many versions of physical reality, and they're all based on the brain that you're using to look at it, there's nothing absolute about it. Which one is real? And this is the position Tagore took. He said, the world that we observe, even scientists, is a human world, observed through a human nervous system. And the thought occurred to me, now we are 14 billion years later after the Big Bang, and brains and the universe, or how the universe appears to us, have co-evolved. The universe is much bigger today. It's 47 billion light years across. Almost certainly God is not a dead white male in the sky.
Right.
Okay, so where does God, where does the mystery of God fit in? In the Indian tradition, there's a word called Maya. Right. Is what you see is not what is. And for surely, what you see is not what is. What is perceived is bounced off an underlying field of consciousness as a particular perceptual experience, and that's Maya. Okay, it's not the real reality.
Right.
The real reality, as Rumi says, is behind the curtain. In truth, we are not here. This is our shadow. This is a book about how do we explore that for ourselves. If somebody is pointing to the moon, you should look at the moon, not worship their finger. But that's what they do in religion. Right. So through this book, we get to look at the moon.
Religion tends to divide. of how we can use religion to actually bring people together and unite as one.
I think religion is just a cult with a large following. We should get rid of it. It has to evolve. And as we move into the postmodern age, with all that we know about the world, we must take the religious experience and sacrifice the dogma and ideology.
So does one have to believe in God to read your book, to understand your book?
Does one have to believe in God? Do you have to believe in electricity? It's there, the light bulb and my iPhone and my TV set.
Right.
So if something is real, why do you have to believe in it?
Right.
Okay, belief is a cover-up for insecurity. You don't have to believe in God. In fact, the only thing that will take you away from God is the belief in God. Oh. You got to go beyond belief, go beyond faith, experiment, observe, be self-aware, reflect, transcend, meditate, and see the difference between the perceptual and the real.
So what can one hope to experience while reading your book, God?
I think if people are going to seriously read this book, they should read each story, and there's a lesson after the story. They should reflect in it, and then they should come back to it, because this is a practice more than just a reading.
It was wonderful talking to you about your book, and I encourage all of our viewers to pick up a copy as well.
Thank you, Sarika.
Thank you, Dr. Chopra. I personally believe that we can all have our own thoughts on religion and God, but one rule to live by: if you set your intention in the universe with positive thoughts and positive thinking, the universe will unfold to make your dreams come true. Try it. It just might happen. Did you know that people that are very successful wake up every day with a certain mindset? Well, we're going to find out what that is. Next, let's talk to innovator Naveen Jain for his inspirational tip of the week.
If you think you can, and if you think you can't, you are right. I believe every day in the morning when you wake up, God gives you a choice. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be unhappy? And based on the decision you make, you have a number of reasons why you should be happy or unhappy. Your thoughts changes your mind. Your thoughts changes how you will perceive and how you will behave in the future. In fact, it fundamentally changes the epigenetics of your brain. Think positively and the good things will happen to you.
Andaaz. Brought to you by Basic Ayurveda, your source for Ayurvedic juices. Biotic Institute, the art of medicine, the science of weight loss. Andaaz. Brought to you by Silk Threads. The name says it all.
Thanks, Naveen. It's so true how we can wake up and determine the course of our day just by thinking positive thoughts. All you animal lovers out there, you're surely gonna love this next segment. We can learn a lot from animals: how to be present, how to give unconditional love, how to let go of your ego by just observing them and connecting with them. Well, Isha heads to Half Moon Bay, and she's gonna show us the connection between horses and us.
Horses are such intuitive animals. Tell us about your experience with that.
Well, horses are by nature intuitive. They have to live off their wits in the wild, so they need to make snap decisions. They're prey animals. So in theory, a predator can be lurking. They need to know immediately and respond. They take that same set of very acute intuitions and use them when they're domesticated to come to fairly quick snap decisions about the people around them.
So they can judge a person in
very
the first
quickly.
2 minutes?
Sooner than that.
Before they even get near them?
Sure. They make decisions about who you are, and they're pretty accurate.
Other people learn about the connection between animals and humans. What's something that's really important that can help us in our everyday life?
Well, I think one of the things, if we put kind of human arrogance aside,
right,
and watch animals, they have an innate honesty about who they are and how they communicate. that we certainly could learn from.
Use in our lives as well.
Absolutely. They'll know whether you're a danger to them when you first approach, but if you want a really meaningful, deep connection, that, like any relationship, is one that requires work and time spent together.
With horses, I feel like they can also, they're good for, you know, certain diseases that people might have or certain illnesses.
Well, there's a whole body of therapy, different sorts of equine facilitated therapy. They're used as therapeutic tools for people who are physically challenged, for people who are intellectually challenged. They are used in prisons throughout the country to teach the most violent of inmates
how to be calm,
how to be responsible, how to express an emotion other than anger and violence. And these have been wildly successful programs that are now in every state because they've been so successful. And they have programs which use smaller animals like dogs.
Right.
But it's the size of the horse that makes its kindness and its patience so incredibly useful to these big guys who,
right, and it's
you
just
know,
calming for them.
Yeah.
You know, these
and
guys
they really
come in with
connect
huge
in a
heads.
spiritual way, and these are the animals who can get past the anger
Right.
and understand what's inside. If you really care about these animals, one of the things they do is get you to rethink your approach, to not be so arrogant about thinking you know everything when in fact you don't.
What she was saying about having a connection with a horse is completely right, because I feel like when you get on a horse, you can kind of connect with them and you can tell what they want just by your intuition and by instinct. I love riding horses. This is so much fun.
Thanks, Isha. It was so much fun watching you. What all of you don't know is Isha didn't really have a spiritual connection with her first horse. The video is just hilarious behind the scenes, so go to our website to check it out. Next, we talked to Sharmeen Khan, our Ayurvedic expert here on Andaaz, and she's going to give us a tip on how to start off the day on the right foot. Let's go take a look.
Thank you, Sarika. Today we'll be talking about enhancing the energy. Enhancing our energy can be connecting to nature, can be very influential on our mind, body, and spirit, and rejuvenate us. It could be walking on barefoot on grass for about 10 minutes a day, connecting to earth. Allowing some time by the water to let the energy of the water flow through us. Connecting to nature by observing the vegetation and flowers around us. Allowing the sun to penetrate through you, to gaze at the stars at night. I'm Sharmeen, the Ayurvedic expert. Thank you.
Andaaz, brought to you by Basic Ayurveda, your source for Ayurvedic juices. Yatek Institute, the art of medicine, the science of weight loss.
Thanks, Sharmeen. I think every morning I'm just going to have to go step out into the sunlight now. I think nourishing your mind and your body is just so important. Our next guest is a renowned psychic, UshaJi. She talks to us about intuition, past lives, the purpose of our soul, and karma. Let's go check it out. Hi, UshaJi.
Thank you for inviting me again.
Well, let's just dive right in. Today's episode is all about who we were in our past lives and reincarnation and the spiritual world. So can you just first explain how that process works and what are your thoughts on reincarnation?
Every thought, every action, every whisper of a thought, every idea that comes to you, it kind of brings your karam, like it brings it into a positive balance or a negative balance, you know?
Right.
So even when people go, well, I was thinking of stealing from a bank or whatever, but I never did it, does that affect my karam? Yes, it does, because the thought actually played in your mind. You actually thought that way.
But that's so hard. I mean, we get these negative thoughts all the time. Someone does something to you and you feel upset about it, or this happens and that. How can we control our minds?
By enforcing certain rules for yourself. And the best way would be, of course, I always talk about meditation. Allowing to silence your mind reveals to you certain thoughts that you may never have encountered, and they come to you when you are absolutely in silence and you have a chance to connect with your soul. But it is a moment of peace when clarity does come through.
You've come into this life, and the reason that you are where you are in the situation that you're in is because of your past lives, right?
Is also a result of your past lives, and sometimes it's also about paying it forward.
So how are we supposed to know in this life what karmas we're supposed to get rid of from past lives, and how we can erase that and sort of move on to another level?
The purpose of any life is to bring your soul to an upper level. That's basically the life for every single individual on this planet. And if you live a soulful life, which means then you are not going to cause any hurt or pain or cause any harm to anyone, you know.
How important is it for us to connect with the spiritual world, and how are they assisting us?
Whatever life brings to you, there are lessons to be learned from it, you know. Sometimes it's not about learning a lesson from the event, but it is about how you're going to react to a similar event. Sometimes it's also about reacting to a certain loss that you may have had. People are losing homes and they say, what am I supposed to learn from this? You know, you are going to go through some incredible situations, and it is about your growth and development and your strength as an individual, you know.
I think the key is we were given this life with the challenges that we have.
Correct.
And the obstacles that we have, and we're going to have them. So it's just a matter of getting through with a positive mindset so that in our next life, we have good karma accumulated.
And
right?
we have less issues to deal with, you know, less problems to deal with.
Okay, well, we have our lovely audience here. And I think, UshaJi, we can just start right off, and
sure,
you can kind of take a look at what you see, and then they can get into questions and get acquainted with our audience.
Hi, I'm Sujata.
Hi, Sujata. How old are you?
I am 32.
32? Wonderful. Yes. And how can I help you?
I just wanted to know a little bit about spiritual guidance, and if you see anyone around me, and whether or not these guides are normally related to us in some way, or from a different life, or from a current life that has gone away.
Great question. Sometimes spirit guides are related to you or friends of yours from past lives, and sometimes they're not. There are other ethereal entities that somehow want to witness a human life, or see what you're going to do, or take an interest in how you are living your life, and kind of are in a higher level. So there are higher entities, but not necessarily out there to help you. And even when we say spirit guides, if you're looking for guidance, if you ask them to help you, maybe they will. You know, maybe it's not like they will just suddenly jump in and interfere in your life. It's not like that. Do you have a spirit guide? Let me see. And Sujata, 32. It shows that you must have sensed the feeling already. So it shows it's a male, and the male energy comes in, and it shows this is someone that you have had a connection with before, and it does come back. So people ask me, how do I connect with a spirit guide then? Meditate, and then you ask them to reveal themselves. Say, and if it's not revealing their presence, or by a sign, you know, so they will. It will be very, you know, like a wonderful sign that, oh my God, how did this even get here, you know?
But we as ourselves, as humans, we think to ourselves, when we get that feeling and we have a question for Sarika, and she calls, or we don't get a reaction from a person when we send a mail, but we get a surge of an emotion of feeling love, or feeling that feeling. How do we tap into that emotion? How do you kind of guide us in kind of that direction?
All of us are born intuitive. We're all born instinctive, and we're all born intuitive. So to allow yourself to believe in what you're feeling, because that's the whole thing. You know, we all doubt it. You know, we're all experts at kind of saying, oh no, that can't be, you know. So it's about giving yourself the faith that, you know, what I'm feeling may be right. But it is about giving yourself permission to believe your emotions and to believe what you're feeling. So the more you allow yourself to accept what you're feeling, then you will find that you're developing your intuition more. People find it hard. They go, no, I think we can never understand God or the universe, you know. All we can do is attempt, that's all. So miracles can happen.
Miracles can happen. Thank you, UshaJi. I just love how with positive thoughts and positive thinking, we can erase our negative karma from our past lives. Well, it's important to also take care of your body. And Jay Piatek, our weight loss expert, gives us great tips on how to get fit.
Sure, Sarika. Exercise is so critical in any type of weight loss program or anti-aging or health program. It's vital for life, Sarika. Having exercise in your life would help your heart, your lungs, your circulation. It's like a drug for diabetes or high blood pressure. In fact, it's as good as drugs many times, where you can get off of some of your medications if you exercise. Cardiovascular activity is #1, not lifting, for weight loss. You want to do about 20-25 minutes a day of bike, elliptical trainer, walking. So what we're trying to do with exercise is change your outcome. Do the right amount so it's not so painful and you get results, and it could actually be pleasurable.
Thanks, Jay. It looks like I'm going to have to start using your tips now. I think it's about time. Every week here on Andaaz, we have a fabulous find just for you. Ayurveda, doesn't it seem a little challenging and overwhelming? I mean, how are we going to take these pills? How are we going to eat these herbs? How are we going to juice everything? We found something to make your life so much easier. Well, Basic Ayurveda has made a juice that you can get at your local grocery store and take your quick daily Ayurveda shot. And with this shot, you can slow down diabetes, slow down heart disease, have a little bit more energy, lose some weight. So check out Basic Ayurveda. Well, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week with great guests, more fun, and inspiration. Here on Andaaz, we're having a competition just for you. This is your chance to get on this side of the camera. For details, check out our website. And we love supporting the community and offering the show as a platform to discover hidden talent across the country and rising stars. And before we wrap up, we have a rising star that's going to sing Adele just for you. And she was our 3rd place winner. Let's go check it out.
The Andaaz Superstar Contest is brought to you by Lawson Travel. Experience the world with us. It's all about happening events. List yours on MiraboxOffice.com.